This is a message from the future. Issue 48 was challenging. You're gonna need some patience, it's gonna take some time, but you're gonna get through it, and it's gonna look awesome.
And we're back with issue 48, and things are about to get very technical because look at this one.
It's all wires.
All wires. It's crazy. We've got wires, and more wires.
And zip ties.
And some zip ties. Yeah, and we've got the terminal strip and more wires, and then wires, and then wires. And finally, wires. Cool. And then it looks like a article about Elizabeth Shue, who played Jennifer Parker in part 2 and 3.
Marty, it was a dream, wasn't it?
All right, let's begin. I will unveil the hot mess that is issue 48. And there you are. A spaghetti.
Hey Joe, heavy on the meatball.
So let's dive right in. Okay, this is going to be confusing.
I bet.
Okay, we'll see how well you do. Okay, you got to keep all those adults from complaining too much about this issue.
I will.
Look, I know you will. You're a rock star. Okay, dashboard wiring. Pass the cable from 45C between the parts shown and down the other side of the center console. First, take the center console off the model if that's where you've left it like we did. It's all about like where the wiring goes at this point, okay? They're telling you to put this wire, tuck it down in between the rowing contactors and the heatsink, right? So
Well, not this one. This one.
yeah, okay. So you want to tuck it down in there, and then it curves around. Step 2, lead the cable down and under the dashboard, right? Exactly like so. Yeah, good work. And then step 3, pass the cable underneath the center console and position it along the side as shown. So basically, it goes around and down. Yeah, you did it. You don't even need my help. I can just let you do the whole show. Okay. Step 4, take the cables from 45B and 42I and place them with 45C along the center of the console. Basically, it just means take all those wires through the center console and out the other side. Okay? Touche. All right. Step 5, lead the. I'll just be the narrator, right? I'm just gonna leave. Step 5, lead the cables from 43A out the end of the center console with the others. See, you need my help a little bit. All right, it looks like, I'm just going to point at it. It looks like that.
Oh, it's on it. Here.
It is on it. You are correct. Place the center console and dashboard onto 39A. So basically, we're still at the same point where you just grab all the wires and they all go through the center console, and then you want to put the center console on the model Yes, you want to take the floor off the model one step ahead of me all the time, and then put it on it, and then flip it over. You didn't know that. And then throw a couple FP screws. Cool. Do you need me to help hold it or something?
Yes.
That's a big sandwich. That's a technical term for anything that sandwiches together. All right. Okay. I think you'll find it a little bit
easier.
Cool. Good job. And then 3 more. Okay. We're getting some extreme lighting going on here. Is that one lined up?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to step 1, they do show that these 2 wires just kind of drape. I don't think you're ready for where they go, I'm not sure, but they drape in the image at least over the speedometer wire that runs like you've got it. Okay. You got all 4 in there?
Yep. No.
No, we're missing 1. Okay, throw that in there. Cool. It's cool that all these pieces are now becoming one big piece.
A model.
Yeah. It's no longer, just the dash and just the center console, or the Claire Electroseal, or the Dayton drum switch, and the enclosure here, and the black dash boxes, the speedometer and the heat sink and the radio and the compass and the meters. It's now the cabin, right?
Yeah.
And the steering wheel. Okay. There you are. There's your cabin sandwich.
Is that an actual term?
It's a term that we used a lot while we were working on the DeLorean Time Machine. Sandwich. It's just anything that, is a bunch of things stuck together. It's very technical. You wouldn't understand. I'll tell you when you're older. So now what you want to do is identify the cables 48B and match them to the holes in 48A. This is all about the terminal strip that goes on the glove box. So you want to grab your terminal strip. That would be this piece, okay?
Yeah.
And then you want to identify all of your wires, 2 reds, 2 whites, 2 blacks, 2 yellows, and a brown, looks like.
This is it.
And it says to twist the ends together, but
They're
already twisted. So somebody, somewhere in Model Land did that for you. Okay. So then you want to thread these into the terminal strip as shown.
Small tab, large tab? They're both the same height though.
But they might not be the same width. Yeah, this one is thinner and this one is wider. Get it?
Okay.
Okay, so put the small tab on the left, the large tab on the right, and then start threading those through. But I really think, do you see how it goes though? One wire goes in, down, and back out. Right? I don't think it matters that much. You know what I mean? Like which one is exactly on the end. So remember the red are going in. You got the small tab that way. It's a little bit confusing, I got to admit.
Yeah.
I think it will all make sense in the end. Does it tell you how far you're supposed to pull it through?
No.
It says make sure that it's positioned in the center of the cable before pulling it tight. So it does tell you. So in the center, between the twisted part and the end, is where you want it. And once it's there, feed it back through and pull it tight. All right, you got it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Now just do that like 45 more times.
Can you hold that down?
Sure. I don't think it has to be exact. I feel like you're sewing. Right? What are you making? This reminds me of the Three Amigos when little Nettie's like,
So, Viola, so like the wind.
do you want me to still hold it?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't tell because it felt like you were pulling on it. Alright, so another white one. Alright. I bet you didn't know when you began building this model that you would have to do this.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool because it's not like the same thing over and over. I mean, you're getting to put on rubber tires, metal steering wheels, and now you're weaving something?
Black.
Black
Then
is
yellow.
next, then yellow.
Then yellow.
I think we're gonna have to do like an 80s montage here with wire weaving. Are you done yet? I have a feeling there's gonna be some grown men weeping after this issue. You just can see like cut to the exterior of the house as the model flies through the front window, followed by like miles and miles of wire. Are you done yet? I'm losing my mind. Okay, tell me you're done.
Yes.
Finally. Let me take a look at it. It's driving me nuts over here. Okay. It looks perfect. See, and this is the point of it all. Is that on this side, it looks like a terminal strip with wires coming in, connected to the terminal strip, and then connected on the other side, and going out. Alright? But what it is telling you to remember is to put the terminal strip in the center between these 2 points, right? So it's not quite in the center. So do you think it'll slide? Nope. But I'm sure we can just loosen it up like old school style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll see how important it is for it to be. Let me just test it real quick. here's the issue. The wire's supposed to be able to go from the terminal strip, and then they travel down around here and tuck up under here.
Okay. I can.
Well, make sure that they'll reach, okay? You got the wide tab and the skinny tab, right? Let's do it this way so everybody can see. Okay? Now, before I snap that in, well, alright, I was going to suggest that you make sure it reach.
There we go. Reaches.
Yeah, that side reaches with tons of extra, but this side isn't going to reach. That's the problem, see? On this side, no, this side travels the length of this, and then it goes down under, and then pops through the center console hole. Look, see this extra? This isn't going to reach at all. This got to go all the way around through here. So you're going to have to take this off. And I'm going to suggest that when they said put it halfway, they didn't mean from the twisted part. They meant the entire thing, right? So you want this terminal strip to be dead center of all these wires.
Okay.
Yeah, okay? So you're going to have to scoot it over one wire at a time by feet pushing the wires through, you know, and make a big loop and then tighten them out the other side. Okay, so this part turned out to be a little bit tricky, a little fiddly. So just for everybody out there, what you want to do is make sure that that terminal strip is in the center. I know they said that, but it was a little bit confusing because one of the sides was twisted and the other side wasn't. So it was a little bit unclear about which center they meant. And what they mean is really right in the center, dead center. And that's important so that both sides reach where they're supposed to reach. All right, so now that that is all ready to go and both ends are twisted, you want to put the tabs in, and then that side, oh, look at you go. It wraps around there. Very well. And then you're going to come out through the back as shown in step 14, past the twisted ends of the cable beneath the dashboard and out through the back. Okay? And the other side, you want to wrap, it follows the glove box, and then it jogs down and around, and then it comes around through the center console hole over here. Let's turn it around. So you need the ends to stay twisted, okay? So you want to twist them real good. Put your back into it, all right? And then it will be helpful to feed that through first, through the center console hole, 48B. I guess 48B is the wires and not the hole. Alright, so now this is actually like a triple fiddly part. What we've discovered is that to make it easier, you've got both ends wound and you've fed one end through the center console hole, okay? And then you gotta hold on to it and then and then wrap the wires around the glove box.
I need a little more length.
Okay, there is only a little bit left.
Why don't you hold it with the pliers?
Well, okay. So you just need to pull what you need.
Okay.
You got it in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the other end, you know what to do, right?
Yep.
See this? This looks a mess though. You need it to be a graceful river of wires, not just like a tangled mess. Okay, that looks much better. Okay, and now I'll tell you, they did say put it in the center, but I'm gonna say that it definitely should not be in the center. You need far more length going this way than you do this one. It's sticking out like 9 miles, and this one isn't reaching at all. Okay, man, this is officially, I think, the fiddliest bit on the car so far. So one end of these wires comes twisted. The other end you have to basically weave through this terminal strip, and then the other side you have to twist. And it says that you need to center it, and there was some confusion about where it needed to be centered. And I'll tell you, it's about here. So it's not really the center, but you definitely want the terminal strip to favor the shorter side. And how we figured this out was a bunch of trial and error that we will save everyone from. But basically, you want to make sure first that the wires will fit out the end on this side first, and then that the terminal strip will wrap around, and then the rest you really need all the extra you can get in order for it to make it where it's supposed to go. So now I'll let you do the honor.
Can you hold that, please?
Sure. Let me hold this end. For this to look right when you're done, the wires need to be like a graceful river of wires that go down like this, okay? And then once they disappear, they can be a twisted jumble mess. But up here, you know, they can't be all crisscross, you know, entangled. So make sure that it's a nice, graceful river of wires, or else it just aren't gonna look right.
Oops.
All right. So this side, you know, needs to be a graceful river of wires down in between the time circuits. Take this one down, Joey. That side looks pretty good. We can tweak it a little bit later, but let's get it installed. Once you get that pulled through, let's just whip it around. All right. So you see, once you get it kind of in place, you can see both of the places on the back that the wires are supposed to come out of. One comes out through the hole in the center console, and the other comes out through this little square hole here. And I suggest you getting it to this point before then going back and tweaking it, because it's a bit of a nightmare just to get to this stage. And now you did, I think, as well as could be done It's a very fiddly piece. And I think this is something you could spend a really long time on, just making it absolutely perfect. And while we probably will, not right now. So, moving on, step 15, more fiddly wires. Place 48C and 48D together and position them around the parts on the top of the dashboard. Then down, under, and through the back, as shown. More fiddly wires.
This one?
Well, are they marked in any way? Or you just have to identify them? It looks like a black one and a yellow one. Approximately the same thickness. So I'm going to go with the one you have and this one. Okay? So what you want to do, is you tuck them exactly down between the Rowan contactors and the time circuits. No. Don't feed them through, just pop them in. Did you get them in?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And so then you want to wrap one side around the binnacle and the other side around the glove box. Okay? Alright. That's better. Okay?
Yep.
Good. So it's going to follow the contour of the binnacle. And that one you got that one handled.
And it comes around?
Wrap it around and it goes right through that same hole. Whew! Alright, again, a lot of this is finesse, you know, you got to really work at it. There's an art to getting the wiring to look just so, and I think people are going to fiddle with this issue for a very long time. These are the issues that make me glad that there's, you know, that they don't come faster, because this one's going to take people a while. Alright, so moving on to more fiddly wires. What do we got? Step 16, pass one end of 48E. Looks like a group of red wires, 48E, through the hole with 48B, C, and D. So it's through the same hole, wraps around the same stuff, only this time it passes straight across behind the Rowan contactors. Here we go. We should be referring to the parts list. So it's 48E. Is this the one you got? Well, it's supposed to be this one.
That's this one.
The 48E. Yep. Alright, so same exact thing. You got that one?
Yep.
Yeah. So I love in the pictures it's like all perfect and everything, and then you let go and it's like we'll have to see if there's a way to secure these things a little bit better down the road a piece. Step 17. Loop one end. Here we go. Cable ties. That's going to be the answer to keeping these things in place. Loop one end of the cable ties, 48I, around the group of cables on the right side of the dashboard and pass it through itself. So, zip tie, okay? And here's where you put it. Right there.
Okay.
Right to the right of of the glove box, and you want to grab all those wires and you want to zip it, but don't pull it tight, because once you do, that's it. Okay? Leave it loose until you've got the wires where you want them. Okay? So this is your last opportunity to finesse the wires. Okay? So why don't you turn it around so that you're actually looking at what it's going to look like. Now make it look how you want. Okay? And then as soon as you got it, then zip it. Okay? Did it work out the way you expected it to? Good. Alright. Pull the cable tie tight, then cut away the excess. And by that they just mean trim the cable tie. Okay, right up next to it. Perfect. Okay. Pass 48F underneath the dashboard and out of the back as shown. So now we're going to do the smart thing and check what is 48F. It's the one with 4.
There's 2 ones with 4.
Really? Oh yeah. Okay, it's the shorter one. The shorter one that looks like a hand, looks like fingers, a claw. It's the claw. Okay, so pass it underneath the dashboard and out of the back as shown. Right, so what you want to do is you want to...
I get it.
You do?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep. You see it?
Yeah. You want me to grab it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Wiring the A car was exactly the same nightmare as this is. There's so much wire in that car. You really can't appreciate how much wire is in there unless you've seen it go in. It's just endless, and it doesn't ever listen, and it doesn't do what you want it to, just like this. But when it's done, it looks awesome. Alright, now these things, does it tell you to zip tie it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then do it. I do know that the ends of this wire are going to end up poking down into these Rowan contactor holes. Okay? So I guess zip tying it will not prevent us from scooching it. Although that's another technical term. You learned 2 technical terms in this episode. Sandwich and scooch. Okay. Did you zip tie everything together? Don't pull it tight until you're totally happy with the way that everything's laying, because once... Are you?
Yep.
I don't think so. Look, this is a much tighter bunch here than this. These are all separated, you know what I mean? Like these have to go down and become one bunch before you zip tie that. And the zip tie goes where the knee pad is, like down a little bit.
What is it, Copernicus?
Okay, look at it. Look at the picture. It goes like under the compass, about level with the top of the time circuits. Okay? And now once you've got this looking the way you want it to, okay?
Yep.
Zip it. You ready? You got it? And now trim it. So snip that. And then, guess what? More fiddly wires.
Yay.
Step 21. Step 2,000,001. Pass 48H underneath the dashboard and out the back. This is the longer one that looks like the claw. Okay? This one starts here and it goes down that way and out through the same hole in the center console. It's right there between the heatsink and the binnacle and the
Does it go
speedometer.
under or over those wires?
Looks like over, and then you'll zip tie it. Put it here.
Okay.
Okay, and then it goes under, hugging the, the contour there. It follows the crack, just like on this side, only on this side. Okay, and then it goes through the hole in the back.
That?
Yeah. So these are gonna all end up going in this Rowan contactor. Okay. So you want it to basically be in the same spot as the other one, and then feed it through. You don't get it caught on the steering wheel. Okay? Yep. And it just kind of tucks down like this. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you zip tie all of these together. Right? You want to get the zip tie not all the way tight, right? You know what you're doing. Alright, so now, this being the last time that you can get everything to line up perfectly. Okay. Ooh, this is fiddly. Alright. I think it's good. Pull it. What do you think? Okay. The only thing is, your zip tie is supposed to be
Doesn't matter.
it's just not quite in the right place is all. Okay. Alright, now trim that. Don't cut any of the wires. Okay, cool. Step 23. Pass the end of 48G through the hole underneath the dashboard. Okay? So, that's the big wire. And you want to pass it through the hole under there. Just like all the rest of the wires. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll hold this end. And this end follows this same contour.
You
Okay?
hold the black one and the yellow one?
Sure. Do I got it? Oh, I see. Okay, I got it. Now, pull it up, follow that contour, and then when you get up here, they fan out, and they're gonna go into the two black dash boxes. Okay? So you just want to make sure that the end, let go for a second, that your end has enough play to do what you want, and then I'm sure we'll be able to pull it a little bit later, but you want to zip tie it right now. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's your zip tie, here's the wires, and this is where the zip tie goes. Take a look at it before you do it.
Okay.
Okay? And I think you might as well just tighten this one because it's good, right? Okay, I'm sure it's tight enough, right? We don't have to King Kong it. It just didn't go flying, that's all. Okay, looks good. Step 25, how many steps are there? 25, insert the two ends of 48E into 46A as shown. Check it out. So now what you're going to want to do is plug all these red wires into the Rowan contactors.
This is looking great.
It does look great. Good job. What a pain in the butt. I would have said ask, but then I would have to put $1 in the swear jar.
Yeah,
Okay, come on. I'll give you $1 later. You got it? So there's 3 holes in each side of the Rowan contactors, but these 2 red wires go into the 2 holes closest to you on the passenger side.
Very good.
Okay, you got them?
Oh.
Okay, good. Then, you know what I would do right now, before you get all nuts with this one, is find the other end of this red wire and pull it down, but, you know, make sure it doesn't come out. A little bit more. I think that's good. Stop, 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 stop. Okay? Alright, we can fiddle with this even more later, but this is driving me bananas, okay? Alright, step 26. Place the ends of 48F into the indicated holes. So basically, you got, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was the short 4 claw one, comes that one, yeah. It goes into the rest of the Rowan contactor holes, like this. The rest of the ones on the passenger sides, and then one in the closest hole to the, you know what, we'll just put up an image. Okay, so then the 2 wires that come off of the heatsink go into the next 2 holes in the Rowan contactors.
There.
Did you get it?
Yep.
Okay. So, this is by far the most taxing issue so far.
Yeah.
It's taking forever. Everything is super tiny. You need bionic vision just to see it. You need some things. You need tweezers. You need a needle or a pin to poke out the holes in case there's a little bit of flashing. Okay, so what you're on now is step 28.
We're almost there.
Yeah, one more step. Insert the ends of 48H into the 4 remaining holes in 46A. Alright, so 3 of them go in the 1, 2, 3 holes, and then one of them goes all the way over here to the other Rowan contactor. Okay? Was one of those red wires longer than the other one? Or were they all the same?
We're all the same.
Okay. Because one of them's supposed to reach, you know, much further than the other ones. The way they have it in the instructions makes it look like one of them was longer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But in the parts list, they look all the same, basically. Are you having trouble? Of course. Of course you are. This is the fiddliest episode ever.
Yeah, I need that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. So poke those holes out a little bit. Do one of these, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To make sure you get everything around the edges. Take a look at this, how it's supposed to look, okay? Before you finish. Right? So they come up.
Take that one out.
Okay?
That one goes in there.
Okay.
Blue.
Yeah, so you start from the outside. Blue, red, yellow, red. Insert the ends of 48G into the rear of the vents in the order shown. And you don't want to forget about this one in the very end, which is red. Okay? Mm-hmm. Alright. Boy, I'll tell you what, this is one crazy issue.
Are you gonna like speed this up?
We'll just edit everything out. Make it look like you did this all in 5 minutes instead of, what's it been, 3 hours?
Yeah.
People are gonna earn their stripes on this issue, that's for sure.
Literally.
They're gonna earn their wire stripes.
There.
You got them in there? Be careful. You want to hold on to them before, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So if you're pulling it, you don't want to pull them out.
Can you pull that?
Yeah, let me just...
It looks amazing.
It does. Just need to know which one I'm supposed
I
to
can
pull.
sort of imagine this being inside of, like an airplane sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, this episode really is taxing. Hold this for a second. Okay, so not gonna lie, that was the most difficult issue so far. Completely. Harder than any of the other issues. That is a lot of really tricky business. But you did a good job, and I know that there are gonna be people out there that fiddle with this endlessly, relentlessly. But not us, at least not now. We'll go back and tweak it when we recover, because whew, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but as for now, that is issue 48.